Hello, I forgot to record myself sketching, but that's okay. The lines turned out to be a little shaky. That's why she looks like a grandma. But that's okay, because I'm going to fix it. I was just messing around and testing out to see how this would work, because normally when I do digital drawing, I do it with a white backed canvas, whereas here I did gray. I just wanted to test it out to see what would happen. Yeah. So, this is the background. I was testing out the fill feature with black and purple when I totally forgot that you can't fill in a layer where it has like a sketch on it. Probably doesn't really make sense, but if you do end up using Aggie, you will understand. So I created a new layer, zoomed in a little bit, and I was ready to start inking over the sketch. So I turned the darkness up all the way and started sketching. But because it was a gray background and such a dark, thick sketch, it didn't look that good. So I changed the darkness to a little bit lower, and that made it better. And then I started sketching. The problem was, though, my lines were still a little shaky. So I had to be really careful not to make them too shaky, and I messed up a lot. But that's okay, because there's an erase tool for a reason and an undo button for a reason. I made her eyes have little closed U's in them, so it looked like she was sleeping, even though normally if you were to do that you wouldn't put the circle around it. I just thought the circle looked good. And I made her wearing a bathing suit and have a towel and a big sun hat because she's at the beach. And I messed up the hands. That's okay, because I made them a little better. And the feet I did differently than I normally do in this sort of style. I changed them to big-ish blocky feet, like stubby almost, whereas I normally just do little rounded V-shaped feet. So that was new. I kept messing up the back hand, like the hand in the back that she's leaning on, because I didn't want to make it too long, but I didn't want to make it too short either, so that was a problem. I also did the bathing suit a little bit different than I did it in the sketch. It's hard to notice here, but it is different. And I tried to make the feet longer and look almost better and more, and not so stubby, but that resulted in this. That sort of look. And I didn't like that, so I did end up erasing it, don't worry. Yeah, I ended up erasing it. I did sort of keep the feet like the stubbiness they were, but they still ended up being a little different. I did the hat, and her hair is bangs with a little bun, and I did the towel. Now, even though this looked pretty good, it still needs some changes. So I got rid of the sketch, and I erased some problems. I made the eraser smaller because it was way too big. I erased the arm, the bathing suit, and that disastrous foot. Practically just all the legs. Then I went back to the pen and turned back on the sketch and redid it. I still was having trouble, but at least it looked a little better. The bathing suit ended up being a little shorter than it looked in the sketch, and the feet actually looked pretty good. I was liking them, but my lines were still pretty shaky. So I fixed up the legs, I fixed up the bathing suit, and I fixed up the hand. But it still doesn't look that good, but that's okay. I decided that I'm going to actually redo the hand again because I was having trouble with it and it was really hard. But that's okay because it ends up looking pretty good. This looks like a pretty good inking, but I still decided that I was going to do inking over it because these lines were shaky and they were not that good and I didn't really like it. So I created a new layer and I went to the little pencil icon and I started to re-ink it. Really simple re-inking. You can see me going over the bangs, and I fix up the bangs, make them like little, not so squiggly, and I fix up the chin, sort of. No, most of the stuff I kept the same, but I just made the lines look a little cleaner. I do the hand a little different, but most of this was just kept the same. Nothing really drastically changed. I didn't change the look of her hair or anything. I just sort of made the lines look a little better. I did end up not adding the shoes because I thought those looked a little funny because she was on a beach, and normally when you're on a beach you have no shoes on and you'd have your sandals off to the side, but I didn't feel like drawing them off to the side. I just didn't draw them at all. The background looks a little like quote unquote bad because it is gray and she's supposed to have a fun time on a beach. So I think it'd be nicer if I added like a pretty background, but that's okay. Because I did not. I then did the eyes, which were still had some problems with the shakiness of them. That's okay. Nose and the mouth, I changed it into more of an O shape instead of like a sideways D. An upside down D? Well, no, not really. Just a D that's turned to the left and facing down. And then I made the towel, and the towel lines were not perfect, but that's okay. I think what would be cool if I used like the square tool for the towel. But I then took away the sketch beneath it, and this is where I had trouble. The fill tool, that's where I had trouble, the fill tool. When you do a fill tool on a layer, you have to make sure it doesn't have any like additional layers underneath it, or not underneath it, just like additional layers that you inked like over. So you have to create a new layer for the inking, so it doesn't like clash with the other layers. Probably doesn't make any sense, but it's true. The hat, it's hard coming up with like a weave look for the hat because I wanted the hat to look like it was a sun hat, like one of those straw sun hats. And I have a lot of trouble with closing off the lines. I kept having to go back to the layer before it and making sure the lines were like closed, or else when you fill something, like right there on the bun, one of the lines was open, so it would fill in the bun, but as well as like the background where it was open to. And that was annoying, and I had a lot of trouble with that. See, like, the neck right there was a little bit open. Like, it wasn't fully, like, closed off from the bun. So I had to fix that. But luckily, most of the stuff that I messed up wasn't too bad. It was only just a little bit of things that weren't too bad. So I didn't quite close off the bathing suit from the towel, but that's okay. I decided to do the bathing suit like a light pink because I think that is like a pretty color for a bathing suit. I don't know, I just really like it. And the towel, I wanted to do like almost like a light skyish blue. This towel color turned out to be really neon. Right now it looks bad, but it'll look better. I did the inside of the eyes white because I didn't want it to be gray. Oh, and I didn't want it to be like the skin color. I did the mouth pink inside as well as the nose, and then I did the skin. But the hat was practically the same color as the skin, so I had to go in and change that to a little bit more of a yellowish color. Still isn't perfect, but that's okay. I like the mouth as it is, but I actually think it'd look better with a tooth, like a top row teeth. So I changed that and made a top row of teeth and created white like top row teeth and like a pink inside of the mouth, which I think made it look a little better. Right now it looks like kind of weird, but when you add the white in the tooth it looks better. And then I thought, well, she's on the beach, and well, just being on the beach with gray is boring, so why don't I make it obvious she's on the beach? So I wrote beach, ... vibes. I didn't really know what else to write, but I wanted to make it obvious she's on the beach, even though that's pretty obvious she's on the beach, but I still wanted to make it more obvious. So yeah, I underlined the white text in black and the black text in white, and that was literally all. Thank you for watching. Bye!